everybody that we have people with a lot of different communication styles up here. It's going to be a long day.
Now at 5, a marathon meeting at Portland City Hall as local leaders grapple with budget problems and likely cuts. Plus,
say in less than a week, we look at closure potential is a bit of a shock.
How two prominent centers when it comes to Portland's creative community could be shut down for good.
and later we're live at PDX as Memorial Day weekend travel picks up and the airport prepares for the launch of a busy summer season.
But first to our top story with results trickling in from Oregon's special election with at least one key race it appears still too close to call and voters rejecting new taxes that would have helped upgrade a local community college and fund a new police station. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. Let's bring in Devin Haskins now. Devin, let's start with the nearly $2 billion bond measure in Oregon's largest school district.
Yeah, the $1.83 billion bond renewal for Portland Public Schools continues to show that it's easily going to pass. Taking a look at the current results, it's showing that more than 57% of the vote are approving it. That money would be used to rebuild and modernize 3 high schools, Cleveland, Jefferson, and Ida B. Wells.
And I'm really excited for the kids. I'm excited for the Cleveland community who has been working so hard and has been so energized around this bond.
The calling has come upon us to now build new schools for the following century, and Portland has answered that call.
Elsewhere in the Tigard-Tualatin School District, their $421 million bond measure is too close to call so far, though just over 50%. You see about 91 votes separating the two yes and no. The money would raise property taxes about $300 a year and fund the replacement of a middle school and renovations at several elementary schools, along with other upgrades throughout the district. I spoke with the principal of Fowler Middle School, which would be replaced if it passes.
Our school is 51 years old, so we need this bond to pass so we can have brighter classrooms, wider hallways. We want to have an environment in our school where students want to walk through that door every single day.
In another tightly contested race, though, the Mount Hood Community College bond measure is also too close to call, but it appears it won't pass. Only 48% are voting in favor of it versus 51%. The $136 million bond measure would raise property taxes about $5 a month or $60 a year and would update security features and modernize older buildings on campus, among other improvements. The school's president says the community college hasn't been able to pass a bond since 1974.
Cautiously watching it, right? We know that there are still some additional votes to be counted. At the same time, realistic that it's, we're still on the no side as opposed to the yes. So
we can expect more results throughout the week. The election results need to be certified by next month. David?
Well, thank you, Devin. There are a number of other races and measures, of course, we continue to watch closely. Salem, Forest Grove, you guys are on the list. Just head to KGW.com or the KGW mobile app for full up-to-the-minute results as those votes continue to come in.
The man police believe is involved in a deadly hit and run in Woodburn last year is an employee at Legacy Hospital's emergency department. 58-year-old Kenneth Kolarski is now on administrative leave while the investigation continues. Kolarski was arrested Sunday and is accused of hitting and killing Nicolas Hernandez Mendoza. He's in the Marion County Jail.
In Washington, State Patrol are asking for help finding an 88-year-old woman who has been missing since Saturday. Rita Cosio is 5'4" with gray hair and green eyes. Authorities say she might be driving an orange 2007 Kia Spectra with license plate ASL 0630. Troopers say she could be near Cougar. That's in Cowlitz County near Yale Lake and Lake Merwin. Anyone with information should call 911. Happening now, Portland City Council is in the middle of a marathon meeting with more than 10 hours scheduled to talk about this year's budget, one that's going to likely include some tough trade-offs.
Blair Best is in the newsroom covering this for us. Blair, you've been tracking this all day long. At this point, how many hours have they been at it?
Christine, councilors are on hour 5. They started this budget meeting around noon following a regular council meeting, and it's expected to last until 11 tonight. Mayor Keith Wilson released his $8 billion budget proposal earlier this month. Now, councilors have the chance to make changes to that proposal before voting on the final version in June. 126 amendments were submitted ahead of today's meeting, and more than 7 hours of public testimony registered. They have to fill, again, a historic $93 million budget gap. And some big topics include fully funding public safety and park maintenance, raising parking fees downtown and rideshare rates. Councilors earlier today approved a 6% hike in utility fees. Now, perhaps among the most controversial proposals, two councilors want to cut millions meant for Prosper Portland. That's the agency responsible for economic development and helping small businesses.
Colleagues, I know that there have been a lot of conversations off the dais about our own conduct, and I just want to remind everybody that we have people with a lot of different communication styles up here. It's going to be a long day, and I hope that we can treat each other with respect and also respect the different ways in which we all communicate while we work through everything before us today.
Well, coming up tonight on The Story at 6:30, the pieces of the budget that could affect Portlanders the most, and the latest on this hours-long meeting that we'll be following throughout the night. David, Christine.
Yeah, a lot on the table. Thank you so much, Blair. Let's bring in our John Adams now, who's live at City Hall.
And John, another proposal would cut two popular arts and music centers in order to help bolster Parks and Rec. What do we know?
Absolutely, David and Christine. An amendment brought forth by Councilmember Steve Novak would cut the Multnomah Arts Center and the Community Music Center. Now, this proposal has been met with shock and pushback since it was announced last week. Now, over the last 7 decades, the Community Music Center has been a place for students to learn music and get affordable lessons, and has produced alumni like 5-time Grammy Award winner Esperanza Spalding. The center is housed in an old Portland firehouse, which has deferred maintenance that needs to be addressed. But board members told me they were caught off guard by the proposal that would shutter the program completely. CMC students showed up outside City Hall this afternoon to play music in support of the center. Around 500 students currently use the facility, and it employs 25 music teachers and professionals. Board member Kathy Schroeder is worried about what would be lost if CMC is forced to close.
There's all sorts of research about how music helps people in their lives. It decreases drug use, it decreases absentee in schools. It'll be a huge loss for the city if it closes.
Now, like Blair was talking about earlier, dozens and dozens of people have showed up to give public testimony today, and this city council meeting is expected to stretch far into the evening tonight. If we get any word on what the future of these two programs will be, we will let you guys know. Christine and David, back to you.
Yeah, talking about tough trade-offs. John Adams live at City Hall this evening. Thanks, John. New this evening, a new cell phone policy that would have covered school districts across the state has failed to make it out of an Oregon Senate committee. The proposal called for districts to require students to keep their phones off and away all day, including during lunch. Currently, rules vary district to district, even classroom to classroom, which some teachers say can make them difficult to follow. Though it appears concerns over how to enforce a set of statewide rules and how to create exceptions for some students are what ultimately sank the bill.
When I talked to educators in my district, they were like, who's going to police this? Who's going to be in the hallways? Who's going to be at lunchtime talking about what this policy looks like? I've heard some folks were like, well, just get the pouches. Well, there is no money in the policy to have districts go out and just do that.
All right, parents have also cited concerns about being able to reach their kids in an emergency.
In Washington, health officials have confirmed another case of measles. That makes 6 cases so far this year in the state. Officials say the infected person traveled through SeaTac Airport on Saturday. They were then at Overlake Medical Center the next day. Health officials say this case is not connected to any of the previous ones.
Coming up Thursday on KGW and KGW Plus, a story you will not see anywhere else. The Portland Timbers' first ever coach dedicated exclusively to mental performance and wellness. It's part of our ongoing series, Talk About It, our commitment to highlighting people helping break the stigma around mental health. Here is a preview. Being a woman, having a disability, being an amputee, a cancer survivor, how do you think that impacts how the team views you?
It's a very straightforward way of explaining that I also have had a complex life and that I know pain and I know struggle.
I'll meet Lacey Henderson, a Paralympian and 11-time U.S. national champion in track and field. At the age of 9, she lost her right leg to a soft tissue cancer, though she did not let that stop her. Lacey co-hosted NBC's Paralympics coverage from Paris last summer and joined the Timbers in December. as their first certified mental performance consultant. So what does that mean? Well, she's focused on the team's mental well-being, both on and off the pitch. We're talking about building emotional endurance and resilience through mindfulness, meditation, mental debriefs after games, and one-on-ones. And if it feels, well, a little bit Ted Lasso to you, well, that's exactly the point.
The potential for high performance happens when you are doing well mentally. We're not just a head floating above a body, right? They need to be connected.
Going to see that psychologist, I shouldn't have been embarrassed about. I think that is something that I now preach as a coach.
You need to see Lacey.
Yeah, todo está bien?
Yeah, the KGW exclusive Talk About It Timbers airs Thursday at 6 and 11 right here on KGW. Plus, we have a special with extended interviews with both Lacey Henderson and head coach Phil Neville. Coach, by the way, really opens up. Surprised me. You can check that out Thursday at 8 p.m. That's on our free TV app, KGW Plus.
Yeah.